Alright, so this is John Kohler from OKRaw.com. This is part number 2 of 3. So if you haven't watched yet part number 1, please don't watch this video because it won't make that much sense for the full effect. You need to watch the whole video to kind of know what's going on in the video. I wasn't able to cut this down into a 10-minute clip. There's just too much information and it's all really valuable. So please stop this video if you haven't watched it and go watch part 1, which is on the sidebar on YouTube. I was at the Natural Products Expo in basically Anaheim this last March, and there's a new raw food granola, and the second ingredient was maple syrup. But they labeled it raw because, I mean, well, maybe they don't heat it in the processing, they dehydrate it, but you know, the maple syrup was not raw when they put it in there. So there's no raw food labeling law, so people really need to be conscious and aware of these things and know that, because if it's raw, people seem to equate raw with health, but that's not so you're going to learn the technique here. As a group collectively, so it's not just me talking, this is you as a group. What does raw mean to you? So we'll just write here, what does raw mean? So what does raw mean to you? Now we're going to come up with some criteria for what raw means to us. Yes, Johnny?
Not heated.
Perfect.
Also 118 degrees.
Sure, so would everybody agree that if it's raw, it shouldn't be heated above 118 or, you know, whatever temperature you want to fill in? I kind of would say 118 degrees, but everybody seems to have a different one, 116, 110, I mean, whatever the temperature is, it shouldn't be heated above that temperature. Is that, everybody agree?
Yeah.
All right, good, we'll put that up there. Not heated above 118 degrees. Okay? Anybody have any other criteria that we would like to add to our list?
Unrefined.
Unrefined, okay, perfect. Unrefined or unprocessed. How about that? So should we put unrefined because it should be, you know, whole, or maybe we could put whole or unrefined? What does everybody think?
Put it.
Put it up? Yeah. All right, cool. Whole and unrefined. Okay, how about another criteria?
Fresh from the farm.
Perfect, excellent. So, fresh from the farm, I like that. Fresh or high vibrancy, how's that?
Yes.
Has to be fresh and high vibrancy, right? Would everybody agree on that? That's easy. All right, let's do it. Fresh and highly vibrant.
Highly vibrant.
Highly vibrant.
Pesticide free.
Pesticide free.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Should we put pesticide free up there?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that was easy. All right, pesticide free. Everybody agrees on that. Thank you.
Raw can also be a dormant seed.
Raw could be a dormant seed. So let's see, how would we qualify that up here? Oh, I know.
Are we talking about
Enzymatically active or potential enzymatically active. How's that? Should we put that up here?
Yes.
All right. All right. Anybody have any other ones? Okay, so let's see. One that's really important to me, because I got into this for my health, it should be health building or health building and not like taking away from your health. Would everybody agree with health building?
Biogenic.
Biogenic. Health building. All right, put it up. So why don't we come up with one more criteria here and then we'll run it.
Pure.
Pure? How about this one? How about occurs naturally in nature?
Right.
We're going to basically put certain foods that are sold in the raw foods movement up to this criteria. So let's see. So for example, we could do my dinner last night, which was primarily fresh picked collards out of Paul's garden that I helped him plant 6 months ago. So my fresh picked collard greens that I picked and then brought in and then cut up and ate within 5 minutes, is that not heated above 118 degrees?
Depends on how fast you chop them.
It's not that fast. Yes. All right. So is it whole and unrefined? Yes. Is it not GMO? Yes. Is it fresh and highly vibrant? Yes. Is it pesticide free? Yes. Is it enzymatically active or potential? Yes. Is it health building? Yes. Does it occur in nature? Yes. So you can see easily we got all yeses from that. So now we had another comment earlier, carrot juice. So fresh made carrot juice, I don't know, maybe you got the carrots from Whole Foods, but is that not heated above 118 degrees? Yes. Is it whole and unrefined? No, it's missing now the fiber, right? So is it not GMO? Yes. Is it fresh and highly vibrant? Yes. Is it pesticide free? Yes. Is it enzymatically active or potentially? Yes. Is it health building? Yes. Does it occur in nature? Well,
No.
carrots occur in nature, but carrot juice necessarily doesn't, so probably not. So anyways, health building carrot juice, yes, occurs in nature. Well, carrot juice doesn't, but carrots do. So as you can see, we got mostly yeses with 2 no's, or maybe 1 no, depending on how you want to interpret it. So the whole point is the whole point is to have as many yeses as possible. So, you know, why don't we put up something like, I don't know, name something.
Almond butter.
Almond butter. All right, sure. So we're going to put almond butter up to our criteria. Almond butter not heated above 118 degrees.
If it's raw.
Not necessarily.
How do we know?
Most times.
Unless you do it yourself. I mean, and then nowadays with the almonds now coming from California, they're all pasteurized. So they could get raw almonds that have been pasteurized, then make them into butter and still call it raw almond butter because they bought raw almonds, but they've been pasteurized by heat or even worse, chemicals. So anyway, so heated, not heated above, the honest answer is we don't know unless you do it yourself. Is it whole and unrefined? Well, I mean, it's pretty whole because it's just the nuts that are ground up, but it has been processed or refined in a little bit. Is it not GMO? Yes. Is it fresh and highly vibrant? No. Is it pesticide free? Well, if it's organic almond butter, it should be. Enzymatically active or potential? It's all, yeah, crushed up. I mean, it's not going to grow.
Have been sprouted probably.
Yeah, right. Is it health building? Well, it could be maybe more health building than other things, but probably in the scope of things, you probably wouldn't want to eat tons of almond butter. You wouldn't probably feel too good and be too healthy. And does almond butter occur in nature? Well, almonds occur in nature, but almond butter doesn't. So as you can see, even something like almond butter didn't quite pass the test of being raw, but in many cases, I mean, it's used in many raw food recipes and raw food books, and you know, I think a lot of, you know, people eat way too many nuts. I mean, I try to go back and look to nature for answers. My brother has an almond tree in his backyard in Las Vegas, and I'll go to his house when it's in the summertime, and I'll get up on his fence, which is actually just like a concrete block fence, stand up there and basically you gotta take off the fruit, then you gotta peel off like the husk of the fruit, then you got the nut, and you could crack that if they're still pretty fresh on the tree, and then I got out 1 nut and I could eat it. Then I got to do the whole thing over again. So, I mean, if we're in nature, you wouldn't really be eating that many almonds because it takes a lot of energy to get that almond. I mean, with the advent of bulk beans, it's like take the bag, go up to the bulk bean, and you got so many shelled and ready for you to shove in your mouth. So I recommend not to, you know, maybe eat nuts out of hand. And in my opinion, and what I do every day is my goal is to eat no more than 2 handfuls of nuts a day. At the most. I mean, my goal is 1, but I give myself a little bit of slack. So let's put up another ingredient to this test.
Seaweed.
Seaweed. Okay, so fresh seaweed, fresh harvested, or the dried seaweed from the store, or what?
Good choice.
Because I harvest my own fresh seaweed at the ocean.
Defaulted.
Let's do the seaweed first. So why don't we? Because most people don't get the fresh seaweed. Most people get the dried seaweed.
I always soak it. Well, not always. I use milk sometimes. Dried.
So I guess a good seaweed from a good, you know, provider that sun dried it, and that at least we know. So maybe like Maine Coast sea vegetables or something. So Maine Coast sea vegetables, dulse, for example. So is dulse not heated above 118 degrees? Yes, because it's hopefully sun dried. Is it whole and unrefined? Well, I mean, basically it's been dehydrated. Depends if you call, you know, that whole and unrefined. I'd probably call that pretty whole and mostly unrefined. Is it not GMO? Yes. Is it fresh and highly vibrant? No. Is it pesticide free? We hope so, but how can they control what's floating around the ocean? Is it enzymatically active or potentially enzymatically active? No, yes. Depends on your specific definition, but I'd say, well, whatever. I'm not going to specifically give an answer. Is it health building? I would think yes. Seaweeds are very health building for the mineral content. And does it occur in nature? Yes. So as you can see, we got a lot of yeses. And if we had like fresh seaweed that we fresh harvested, it would be all yeses. All right, hope you enjoyed part 2. Part 3 is up next. Please look on the related videos for part 3.